Cheers folks and welcome to my channel. This is Alliance War number 7 in season number 8 and we are facing the World Champs War. Currently they are number 2 in Alliance ranking and they are number 3 in the current leaderboard for the season. I don't think up until this war they have lost any war. So very tough matchup, very tough defense to be expected, and also of course very skilled players in their offense. So overall very tough. But also for me, something new, because it was actually a new path in this war for quite some time that I have changed to a path that I've actually never taken in that same way before. And that path also brought me back to a very nostalgic attack team, and that is the famous Blade Trinity. Basically fighting everything with Blade. Ghost Rider, I only have a 4-star Ghost Rider, so that's purely for the synergy, and the Spider-Man, Stark Spider-Man, currently is only rank 3. I haven't yet had a chance to get him as a dupe, so the path was pretty much laid out to be fought through with Blade, but you will also see in a second why that is. And the path I was taking was a combination of path 4 and path 3. Path 4 in section 1 and then path 3 in section 2. Actually also combining it even with a last part that is path 1. But in order not to keep it too complicated, I'll say it's a combination of path 4 and path 3. So as you can see, starting in the middle section on the left side, and I was still noted at that time, basically in the evening, so then I was waiting until I got unnoted next morning, and brought me to node number 11, first node, which is a special 2 node. Special 2 buys and also is unblockable and plus 20% damage, and also is a strike back node. So every time you fire off a special, your opponent gets 1 bar of power. And 6-star undupe Cosmic Champion turned out to be Hela, which is great because it means that with Blade Trinity, because she's a villain, I get Danger Sense. And what I try is, because it's a special 2 node, even though her special 2 is baitable, I still try to get her to fire off a special 1. As I always say, also on those special 2 bias nodes, you get your opponents to fire off their special 1. You just need to be a little bit patient, and there she fires it off. And then I have 1 special 2, and because she's undupe, she doesn't trigger any of her indestructible buff in the end. So basically 1 special 2, and she is down. Good first warm-up fight. But also, of course, I was boosted for that fight. And especially when you're new on a path and you don't really know, you know, how much health do they really have? How long does it take to get them down, really? Rather be safe and boost properly. The next node is a special 1 node. So here special 1 is unblockable and plus 30% damage, and also special 1 buys. And also this node has cornered, which actually can be an advantage if you're fighting with Blade, because you can actually manipulate your opponent in the way to get them to a special 2 if you want to, and if you have the right masteries leveled. And here it has been a Yellow Jacket, also very good, because Yellow Jacket, same thing, he's a villain, so I get Danger Sense. And what I do is I get him to a special 1, but only with a 4 combo, because then I find it easier. You do a 4 combo, you back off instead of hitting the 5th time, and then you are have a little bit of distance between you and Yellow Jacket. And that's what I find it's easiest to evade a special 1. People have their own techniques. That's my technique. I always try to have a little bit of distance, and then it's easy to evade a special 1. And then it's the same game, 1 special 2, and basically he's down. Now, for the next fight, I actually recorded the next node and the node afterwards together, and you will see why. So the next node, 6-star Skill Champion, is an all-or-nothing node, meaning that the champion waits until he has 3 bars of power, and then basically fires off a special 3. And the node I will take right after that is node number 27. And node number 27 is stun immune. All buffs take 40% longer. And especially what's difficult with this node is counter tactics. So Defender increases base attacks by 20% for each attack on your combo meter. And what I did for those 2 fights is, first of all, I took a power boost, and then also I took off dexterity, mainly for the second fight against Dormammu. But since I didn't know how long time I will have with a power boost that only lasts 3 minutes, I didn't want in between to change all my masteries. So I decided to also fight Kingpin without actually dexterity, which is perfectly fine, especially when he's anyways on all or nothing, so you don't have to worry about any of his specials. And then the power up boost makes that I basically almost get him down with my first special 2, and I also have the skill 200% boost, so after one special 2 I basically get a new special 2, and then already he's down in no time and doesn't even get close to a special 3, so that helped a lot. And again, also in this fight, Trinity helped a lot because also Kingpin is a villain, and that makes just a difference in the damage output you do with Blade. And then Dormammu on note number 27, counter tactics. As I said, also no dexterity, and I still had my power up boost, which I especially also wanted for this fight. And what you do is, in the beginning, you let him hit your block, wait for him to fire off his heavy, and then you actually should evade his heavy and then counter attack. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes you are not far away enough when he fires off his heavy with just one step back. I don't know. Sometimes, like here, it works. So it's a bit difficult. But if you want to be safe, you dash back 2 times. And then what you do is, after he is at 1 bar of power, you wait for him to fire off his special 1. And he is very generous in this fight. He's firing off his special 1 directly all the time. And then I wait until I have my special 2 ready. Also the special 2 only to get him to 1 bar of power, and then again I wait and I evade a bit and, you know, wait for him to fire off his special 1 again, and then already with the second special 2 Dormammu is down. So it's the safest thing to take that fight with, if you take it with a blade, to take dexterity off. That's just the only thing that you have to remember, because what can kill you, especially if you have a high combo, is the degeneration that you get from your buffs ending, in that case the dexterity buff. And then I moved on to note number 26, a 5-star cosmic champion, and turned out to be a Proxima Midnight. And also this, the only thing that's important for this fight is, if you had taken off dexterity earlier in your masteries, make sure before the next fight you put dexterity back on. And here you see I have it back on, and like that I could also easily evade her special 1, and she doesn't even get a chance to fire off a second special, because with the first special 2 she's already down. And then I only took 1 more fight in this war, and that was note number 50. So in the next section I took the upper path, but then only the node, the Bane node, note number 50, which was a Mystic champion. As you can see, 5-star Mystic champion, and also Scoutlands showed clearly it was a Mordo, which again, he's a villain, is perfect for Blade with Trinity. And Bane, again, you hit your opponent, you transfer the Bane timer onto them, and they take damage, 2.5% damage of your current health. So the more health you have, the more damage you transfer onto your opponent, and vice versa. So you don't want them to transfer the Bane timer onto you when they have a lot of health. So the most important thing in the beginning is to take down a lot of health, so that they can do only little damage. And the first thing I do always against Mordo, I don't know why, it works always for me, is that I parry stun him. Once I parry stun him, I let him fire off his heavy, I bait his heavy, I counter attack him, and then by the time he fires his next heavy and I counter again, his power gain timer is on. And so I am able to interrupt his power gain, and that's the only thing that's really important, to interrupt his power gain so he does not get to a special 2. And what also works fine with me, actually with Blade, is I only use my special 1, because I feel when I use my special 1, every time after I use my special 1, Mordo immediately uses his special. So it's something that really worked for me every time I fought Mordo on Bane is fire your special 1, time your special 1, so optimally it hits during the Bane timer transfer time, so that then you just immediately transfer Bane back to him. And then usually he just fires off his special right after. So that's a small tip for this fight. And for the entire war, I have to unfortunately say that we lost this war. It was super close. I think we lost by 1 or 2 deaths. But unfortunately we lost. So I think the race for top 3 is pretty much gone for this season. But at the same time, what's good actually about this is it takes off a lot of pressure. It takes off a lot of, ambition, and maybe also a lot of, boosting now for the next couple of wars. So we can just relax a little bit. Master seems very, very achievable. I don't think that we will miss out on Master. But like this, we can be much more relaxed going on into the next wars. And that's also something good to look forward to. So I think it's always good to look for the upside in that. And if you liked the video, feel free to give it a like. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more war videos like this in the future, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see all of you very, very soon on my channel. Cheers, folks.